I think that's the smallest flash gun that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about this thing, which is the ZENIKO RF12 M, which is an intriguing little light. I think this is probably the most smallest and lightest weight flash gun that I've ever seen, that's for sure. And it is seriously featherweight. You know, you can pop this thing into your pocket and you can forget about it. It is not something that is going to be a hassle to add to a travel kit or anything like that. And that means that it will often be with you, which is a very important thing in the world of photography. You know, you can have the most impressive professional lighting rig in the world, but if it isn't with you, it's of no use, right? Whereas this thing might just be in your pocket. And I will show you a couple of examples later on of a few pictures that I've taken with it, which I guess illustrate the fact that this was with me when I took those pictures, whereas I didn't have any other lighting with me, but this was. This is a sponsored post, by the way. If you don't like this kind of content, go away and do the washing up, iron your pants, put your socks into order, pair them up and, you know, do stuff like that that's useful. If, however, you do like this kind of content, then, you know, come join me. We'll talk a little bit about my experiences of using it. We'll tell a few stories, a bit of camera waffle, that kind of stuff. Okay, so it has this lovely round head, which means that you can get some quite cinematic lighting results with it. I've always been a fan of the round head flash guns. A little bit more pleasing on the eye. It has a tilting and rotating head, which is kind of remarkable. And it is not TTL, as I said, it's just manual. It's just a kind of, you know, just simple old school flash gun, but in a tiny form. But that means that it just has this one pin on the bottom rather than kind of multiple complicated pins, which means that it's adaptable across multiple different cameras, as you would have seen in that little montage. So if you're somebody who has multiple different cameras or aims to have multiple different cameras or wishes to play around with multiple different cameras, this is great because you just slot it from one camera to the next and it just kind of works in exactly the same way across all of those cameras. No menu to worry about, no nothing. It's just like a breath of fresh air in its simplicity. Don't know what that was. Was that a butterfly? Okay, so who could this be for? You know, the first group of photographers that spring to mind is beginners, right? So I was recently with someone who is a beginner into the world of photography, and they're just coming from just taking their pictures on an iPhone into kind of becoming interested in the actual, I guess, whole world of photography. And they have their first proper camera, an R8 actually. And they're just starting to learn to understand all of the different aspects. But when it comes to, it gets late in the day and you can't, you know, there's no longer enough available light to shoot with, or a situation happens, a dive into flash guns for beginners is actually a little bit of a kind of voyage of discovery, because you can either spend a lot of money and you end up with a speed light which is doing everything for you, but it kind of, you don't know what it's doing, you're kind of surrendering control. Or you can have one of those more complicated flash guns that has manual settings, but then if you're just kind of like tiptoeing into the world of manual exposure anyway, it can be a little bit daunting, all of the different things. Something like this, you just clip it on the camera, you take a picture. If it's too bright, you turn it down, and if it's too dim, you turn it up. And then you can bounce it to see what effect that gives, and you can turn it up or down again, and it's just really simple. Really simple to kind of get to grips with, and the simplicity of this is really like a breath of fresh air. Good Lord, I mean, we have entered a world of complexity with cameras now that, well, I've spoken about it before, where there is just so many different menus and different things that you need to understand, and there's a lot of disconnect between yourself just trying to take pictures and the results sometimes because of all of those different menus and controls, whereas something like this kind of brings it right back. So a beginner, I think that this would be a wonderful little flash to stick onto your first half decent camera and play around with and get some results and work out what it is that you might want to do next in terms of, I think it would be a good stepping stone along your journey into photography, and actually could be kind of something that you end up using much more than you might expect as a beginner. The next group of photographers is anyone that is using multiple different camera platforms. and they just want to have a simple light that they can move over from camera to camera and not have to worry about the complexity of that. Now, I particularly have found this to be absolutely wonderful. Look at that on the Leica, my old Leica M9. Good Lord, I've never found a flash gun that looks cool on a Leica. They nearly always look completely out of balance and throw the camera out of balance, and everything feels wrong and a bit kind of awkward. And yeah, most Leica photographers just shoot available light, right? So we've kind of jumped from being a beginner with your first ever camera, oops, straight into being a kind of Leica photographer. But I think that this thing could be of interest to both of those people. I think in particular people that do shoot Leica, do shoot available light most of the time, aren't really that interested in flash. But when that one time comes when you do need flash, something like this might just be in your camera bag, and you might just clip it on your camera and you might just get results that really surprise you, especially with that round cinematic head. Next up, and that would apply to any hipster photographer, you know, if you're into shooting Lumix, which this is, I'll talk about this camera at another point, this Lumix, I think that they're amazing cameras. If you're shooting Lumix, it would work. If you're shooting Canon, any camera, film cameras, old school film cameras with hot shoes, this thing will work just fine. And you'll have to take a running jump or use a flash meter to figure out your exposure for that. But, you know, that's the same for anything really with film. Just going on to this adaptability issue a little bit more. Now, I have bunches of cameras around. All of my cameras that you see, people think, oh, you've got loads of cameras. They're all battered. They're all falling apart. They've all had hard lives. They're all worthless. Most of them just don't work properly. And if we come on to this thing, which also features in the montage, this is a 1DS Mark III. This has been through the wars. This has probably done 1 million exposures. The hot shoe packed up working with speed lights many years ago, and it was one of the reasons why it kind of become retired. However, because it's got the simple connection, this thing breathes new life into it. But look at this. This is insane, having a flash gun that small on a body this big. But look, it works. It fires. It fires like, this is the first time that a flash has fired on this camera for God knows how long. Unbelievable, people. So if you've got old cameras where the hot shoes are screwed, but you want to take some flash pictures, could be interesting. Okay, there is another group of photographers that I think that this is of particular interest to, and that is someone who is trying to build a super lightweight setup. And by that I mean someone that is walking distances, hiking, maybe climbing, whatever your reason to have an ultra lightweight setup, then it really does make a difference. And there are multiple times that I've been in that position where I just haven't taken any lighting because the lighting gets complicated. You need new batteries, you need extra bits and pieces. The lights themselves used to be heavy. With something like this, it's a no-brainer. Just stick it in your bag and don't worry about it because it's so lightweight and so small. And it's with you, which I'll show you a couple of pictures in a minute which illustrate the fact of how handy this thing is, because you might just have it in your pocket or your camera bag when you don't have anything else. Now, let's talk about that. So I live near the beach, right? So I went out with a lightweight camera system, which was the R8 and this 24-50. And I just went out, as I do some evenings, just wandering. I go out wandering with my camera, just looking for things that are of interest. If I take pictures, it's successful, that's good. If I don't, it means I've got out. Now, this has got nothing to do with my day job of being a professional photographer, of which I will carry multiple different systems and lots of different heavy duty lighting, whatever. I will take the right tool for the job, okay? I've got hold of this and I've got it in my little bag. I don't have my little travel bag here, but look at this. It's a super lightweight setup. Kind of my ongoing love-hate relationship with the R8 continues, to be perfectly honest. And on it, I've got this little 24-50 lens, which is really super lightweight and kind of fits the bill, really, in terms of something that you can just stick, you know, you carry it, it's not going to make you tired or anything, you can just kind of carry it out and about, shoot some pictures. Now, I came upon this scene of, I lived on the Atlantic Ocean and there is a big wide open sea and beach, and we have these, in America you call these buoys, right? But in England we call them buoys. which are anchored offshore to get wave height and data and stuff like that. And one of them came loose and came into the shore. And I thought this might make an interesting picture for... I just thought it might make an interesting picture, as simple as that. That's how my photo walks of an evening work out. They're not built around any expectations. They're built around maybe finding some nice light, maybe finding an interesting thing to take pictures of, maybe finding an interesting person to take pictures of. Who knows? Maybe not taking any pictures at all. Anyway, I thought this boy might make an interesting picture, so I stumbled on down. It's getting towards sunset. It's going to be a silhouette if I'm not careful. And that might work okay for the picture, but because I had the little flash gun, I thought I'll give it a whirl. If there's a test that could really see if this thing's got enough juice in it, has this thing got enough punch in it to light up a scene like this? It's not easy, actually. Here are the pictures. Good Lord. I was quite surprised. I thought it came out as I wanted it to come out. You could argue that you could find more atmosphere in a silhouette, and that would be cool. But I actually quite like these. I think they're quite dramatic, quite unusual pictures. The next night, I do a very similar thing, and I go out for a wander, and it's blowing even more. It's not a particularly nice night by any means. And I'm looking for something interesting to photograph. Again, I've got the same setup, R8, little flash gun, 24-50, and I stumble upon this interesting looking bloke. And he reminded me of the explorer, Sir Ranulph Fiennes, who I photographed several years ago now. And he had this big hooded coat, and I approached him, had a chat, and asked him if he wouldn't mind if I just took a quick picture of him. He agreed. Now, again, we're at sunset. Again, we're into the realms of, I wanted to get the light in the background of the picture. Again, we're into the realms of, silhouette time. And yes, you can use the dynamic range of the camera, or yes, you could underexpose the face a bit and then pull it back in post-production. But actually, that wasn't kind of the look that I was going for. I wanted to find something a little bit more contrast, and I wanted to have something that kind of brought out the features of this guy's face a little bit more, rather than a sort of subtle portrait. And so I used clipped the little flash gun on, and have a look at the pictures. I'll flash them up on the screen. And I used a different technique with this, where I actually turned the flash gun to the side and bounced it into my hand to try and soften the light a little bit with that nice round cinematic head. And by using the kind of skin tone of your hand, you can actually kind of get a warm tone into someone's face, which kind of matches the light of the sunset in terms of that warm light. Now, whether it works or not, ideally I would have rather have had a much bigger pro setup with a couple of light stands and a couple of big soft boxes and a couple of £1,000 worth of lighting, but I didn't have that. It wasn't with me. And actually, I think the results are, I'd be happy to publish those results in a magazine, or, I'm more than happy with the results from a tiny little flash gun like this. People could quite easily say that there's no way that you could get a professional looking photograph with a piece of kit like that. We just did, right? Anyway. Yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I will leave a link in the description down below. This is very affordable. I think it's only available in the States at the moment, but that might change, I guess. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.